एक दिन हम भी ऐसे गेम खेलेंगे। हाँ, मैं वो मेन टॉपिक देखने वाला था, उसके कौन सा गया वो, विजय माल्या पॉडकास्ट। 17 million views in just 3 days.
World of business. There's something known as consolidation, industry consolidation. There is something known as eliminate the disruptor.
Okay.
Ed Akan was famous for advertising and promoting 1 rupee tickets.
Yeah.
Clearly, you could never ever sustain any airline business selling tickets for 1 rupee. Okay, it was a bait. With that set certain price expectations in the mindset of the customers.
Yeah.
Building a career in AI is easier once you know where to start. Scale a masterclass on demystifying AI ML.
If you see the line of private jets starting from Mr. Ambani's in Bombay Airport and ask them who uses your jets, you'll get the answer.
Come on, deflecting is not right.
Not deflecting.
I'm asking you.
What?
Did you misuse it?
What is misuse?
I don't know. Whatever they're quoting, do you agree with it or no?
So you agree with the CBI?
No, I'm asking you, do you agree with it or no?
Obviously, I don't agree with it. Obviously, I don't agree with it.
You used it for business purposes only.
What do you mean business purposes? If I had to fly on holiday, I'd say, private jet, आप खड़ा रहो इधर, मैं जा रहा हूँ Air India से.
That's what CBI had problem with. Is that the case?
Yes.
That you took the... Come on, that would not only be the case.
Huh?
That would be a part of your case. Let's say
But this is what I'm saying. The principal one was misrepresentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is first. Misrepresentation. And because of this, they issued an LOC. They issued LOC, right? Lookout circular to the immigration office that Vijay Mallya should not leave the country.
No, I'm not aware of any of that.
Okay. Because then there was a public issuance against in 2015 where the LOC which was issued for you had few words changed.
I know nothing about this.
Okay, so there was, and this I'm quoting from
I know nothing about it. साला चुका रहा है.
again another article where I can show you the article.
Yeah,
where
I've never heard of this before.
Okay, so the article said that you met with someone really powerful, and after that, in just few months, the lookout circular got changed, and the lookout circular changed into, okay, next time to the immigration officers, that if Vijay Mallya comes to the airport and want to leave the country, you need to inform us where is he going and for what purposes. You don't need to stop him. But earlier, the CBI put out a lookout notice that you should not allow Vijay Mallya to leave the country. And this change was made in 2015.
I know nothing about this. This is the first time you are informing me. I went in and out multiple times.
During the
Never a problem at all. And what you're telling me now is news to me. I've never known of a LOC issued or any other form of notice.
The change happened on 24th November 2015. Just few words.
No.
And it specifically read, this was a fresh LOC, that he needs to be questioned before leaving the country, where is he going, and this needs to be informed to CBI. After that, he can continue traveling, he should not be stopped.
No, that's fine. That you said when in 2015?
24th November 2015, a fresh LOC was...
And before that?
Before that, there was just...
I must have gone in 4 times before that. So then, where's the LOC?
So all of this is random thing that you met someone really powerful in Delhi and got changed, and you changed your CBI circular or something.
Nonsense.
Okay. Then another series of event happened, because after your public birthday party, people started losing their shit. They started getting pissed. It became even more public. This 2015, end of it, your Supreme Court interfered, I guess. Supreme Court entered in this whole case, and they put up a bench that 3rd March 2016, your case needs to be heard or needs to be represented in front of Supreme Court. On 1st March 2016, I think you were in Delhi, you went to the parliament, and 2nd March, you left the country. One day before, when you were about to be present in front of Supreme Court. Is all of this real? Or none of it is real?
No, this is completely false. There was no Supreme Court hearing. I was not summoned to court. I'm not aware of any court hearing. I told the Finance Minister, Arun Jaitley, before leaving for the airport. And then I flew from Delhi to London. I was on my way to Geneva for a FIA World Council meeting, which was fixed months ago. I told the Finance Minister because I went from Parliament to Delhi airport. When this news hit the media, once again, it created a storm.
Yeah.
People went running to Mr. Jaitley. He denied meeting me. A Congress MP saw us and then said to the media, no, I saw them together. Mr. Jaitley had to retract his statement and said, yes, I met him, but only while I was walking. It was a fleeting meeting. I never said I went to Mr. Jaitley's office, sat in front of him, had tea with him. All I said is I told the finance minister while leaving, I'm going to London, I have to go to Geneva for a meeting, I'll be back. Please tell the banks to sit across the table and settle with me. How long does this take? This one sentence?
A minute or two.
चलते चलते बात हो सकती है ना?
हाँ.
मैं थोड़ी ना कहा कि मैं कुर्सी और मेज के सामने बैठ के डिस्कशन कर रहा था. But you see the way he denied it. Then when the Congress MP pointed out his mistake that he saw us, he quickly changed. This is the problem with the media, particularly where I'm concerned. They conjure up stuff, they blow things well out of proportion. Well, okay, if it's good for their business, let them continue doing it.
So all of this is nuisance. That on 2nd of March, you left Delhi airport for London in a Jet Airways flight 9W122 from T3 with 55 big suitcases. And somebody says 27, somebody says 55. I mean, different newspapers, different stuff.
What difference does it make? They say LOC, then they say no LOC. Then I tell the finance minister I'm going. Then he says no. Then he says no, he had a fleeting meeting with me. And all this 15, 18 suitcases, complete and utter rubbish.
So your intention was never to leave the country?
Look, please understand this whole narrative of Bhagya, Bhagoda.
Because this is where it starts.
Yeah, this is coming from people who don't know the facts.
Tell us the facts.
I came to England in 1988. I got my indefinite leave to remain, ILR, in 1992. For 32 years, I have been a permanent resident of the UK. Allowed only to spend 180 days in India because I have preserved my non-resident status since 1988. Right, that is why I used to go back and forth so often. All right. So I came. I was attending a scheduled meeting in Geneva, like I told you. What happened? The loudest anchor in the television industry started. All the media piled on. Huge hangama. How did Vijay Mallya leave? How did he leave? Like any normal person on a Jet Airways flight. That too after telling the finance minister that I'm going.
जरा सोच, तुझे अगर हर महीने रिटायरमेंट के बाद 4 लाख रुपीस मिलेंगे तो कैसा लगेगा? वेट व्हाट? 4 लाख महीना?
Driving from Parliament House to the airport. Right. So this whole tamasha started. Right. How does government normally react to media frenzy? Check your own facts. So I said, okay, let things cool down. On top of that, I was negotiating with my foreign collaborators to sell certain shares so that I could pay the banks. My intention was always to settle with the banks. Right?
Yeah.
So I wrote to the enforcement directorate who sent me a summons. I need some time. I'm negotiating. I want to settle with the banks. I've got some business to do. I've already appeared before the CBI. Of course I will appear before you. Right? Just give me some time. What happened in the meantime? They revoked my passport. Revoked it.
When? When was this revoking?
2016.
Oh, right before you left.
Just before.
Right after you left.
Yeah. Passport gone. Now how to travel?
So you got stuck because they revoked your passport.
Then-
Your intention was to come back to country.
Many things may have been different. No?
But your intention was
But
always
without a passport, where do you go?
nowhere.
Correct.
Because you were a British citizen,
Not citizen. Permanent resident.
permanent resident.
I kept my Indian passport because I was a member of parliament.
Okay.
Which I could not be a member of parliament had I not been an Indian citizen.
So if your intention was to come back to the country, why didn't people allow you?
Look, that you should ask the people. Why should I sit and speculate?
But aren't they spending millions of dollars in cases to get your extradition done?
Yes, because they have to make a show of things as well, no? Have I... Please, let's be very clear. Can somebody from the government say to the public, what crime have I committed for which I must be investigated? Have I stolen money from the banks? You must have a prima facie case that I've stolen. You can't just make it up in your head
Yeah.
that I've stolen money from the banks. You need some prima facie evidence. Yeah. Have I done any money laundering? Have I done any drug smuggling? Have I been involved in any violent crime? What is the allegation against Vijay Mallya? Nobody can have an allegation against Vijay Mallya of dishonesty because I have always been honest and truthful. I've never borrowed and I've never cheated and I never will.
But you got this tag of willful defaulter.
Willful defaulter is a person who can pay and who doesn't pay. That's a crime. That's a crime.
Isn't it?
You make up your mind. Then why did you freeze all my assets? You froze my assets in 2016. Right? That's how you've recovered 14,100 crores, right? You can't freeze assets of a person on one hand and call him a chore on the other hand. No?
See, they call you willful defaulter because you had money and you didn't pay. And that's why they had to take such a strict action to freeze your assets. If you would have paid earlier, then they would have not done this. But if you're saying that from 2012 to 2015, you have applied multiple times in the court
Correct.
that you want to settle,
Yes.
why is all of this happening?
I think it's very clear it's also been a part of the media where a particular senior officer of the State Bank of India said to a good friend of mine that as a banker, I would have settled with Vijay a long time ago. But if I do any settlement with him, I'll have the CBI on my neck the very next day.
And why do you think CBI has to do all of these things? Because technically, banks, you're saying, banks want 14,000 crores.
Isn't the CBI called a caged parrot?
But then banks ultimately want 14,000 crore. So they don't want anything to happen. Why would bank want to settle you?
Who knows? If you go to the banks today, they may tell you, I owe even more money.
Tell me real numbers. Because somewhere it's written 9,000 crore, somewhere it's
There is
written...
no 9,000, that is all imagination. 6203 is the
Real number.
judgment debt. 6203, 6,203.
And you have been vocal about it. I was going through your tweets. Publicly, you have been very vocal about it. Hey, I want to pay, come talk to me. Hey, I want to settle. There are multiple times you just said it.
I've shown you letters I've written to the banks. Nothing. We cannot engage with you. Period.
Right? You were part of the parliament. And you were influential. You had money. You were powerful. You could do nothing about all of this. What went wrong?
That probably is the cause of everything that followed. Who do you make a poster boy? Somebody who's insignificant, is it?
But why would
If you want to make an example of somebody, who do you make an example of? A visible person or an invisible person?
Definitely a visible person.
Correct. So there you've got the answer.
But why would they want to make an example out of you when you were ready to settle? It was just a business failure in your terms.
It suits you, no, to reject a settlement offer and to continue to claim that amounts are due to the banks and therefore you're a defaulter. Therefore, we're going to hound you and chase you. It suits the narrative today in India. Business failure means fraud.
If purely that line you're talking about,
you kept asking me about me. Why people tag me willful defaulter, why they accuse me, why the narrative is so negative about me. What happened to poor Naresh Goyal? What happened? India's biggest airline jet about me. Tag me willful defaulter, why they accuse me, why the narrative is so negative about me. What happened to poor Naresh Goyal?
Founder and chairman of Jet Airways.
What happened? India's biggest airline jet collapsed. Naresh Goyal went to jail. What happened to people like Gautam Thapar in Delhi? In jail. Right? So if your business does badly, you're automatically referred to as a fraud. The inference is that you're stolen. In which countries does this happen? The biggest companies in the world fail. Right? Are their management, senior management put in jail? Are they accused of fraud? The whole purpose of business is associated with certain risk as well.
Yep.
Right. But in India, sadly, you have a business that fails. You're accused of fraud and improper conduct.
And people say, and the government and the agencies, that your fraud or people whose businesses have failed are fraud because they have taken money from the banks, which is a common taxpayers' money, which is common people's money. So if you take common people's money and you're not able to repay it, then you're considered wrong. But if in your case, if they have actually recovered more than 2.5x of it, or probably somewhere around that number, why are they still behind you?
Because as I said, have you ever heard of any bank not rendering an account to a borrower or a guarantor? Despite 15 reminders, the same banks have not given me a statement of account. Not one. Have you ever heard of such conduct anywhere in the world? For the first time, it is through the statement in Parliament of the Finance Minister and the printed report of the Ministry of Finance that they have shown 14,100 crores recovered from me. The government have. The banks have not rendered a statement of account. That is what.
Annual report 2044 extradition requests have been sent to various countries in respect of 36 individuals. ED is working tirelessly to extradite the fugitive economic offenders and accused accused to applicate एक सेकंड, विजय माल्या, quantum of properties restored 14,131 crores rupees in crores, yes. Complete amount of attached properties have been successfully restored to the public sector banks.
Why I have gone to the Karnataka High Court asking the court to direct the banks to give me a statement of account. That is the pitiful state of affairs. Now let me explain things to you in a summary fashion. In this entire debt of Kingfisher Airlines and the recovery, you have the recovery officer of the Debt Recovery Tribunal.
Yeah.
The Debt Recovery Tribunal is the one that gave the certificate of debt. They have recovery officers whose job it is to recover against that recovery certificate and inform the tribunal about how much has been recovered. Because when the full amount is recovered, the Debt Recovery Tribunal will issue a discharge certificate that your debt is paid. Second is because the second guarantor, United Breweries Holdings Limited, is in liquidation. It is in the control of the official liquidator. The official liquidator is also obliged to give an account to the court, right, on the liquidation, which includes being a co-guarantor of the Kingfisher Airlines debt. Right. Both these have stated in court, in judicial proceedings, that the banks have been fully paid. Yet the banks have not submitted a statement of account. I have had to go to the Karnataka High Court pleading with them to please direct the banks to submit a statement of account. And of course, the official liquidator and the recovery officer as well. This is the conduct of those banks. And you're asking me questions about why they didn't do this and why they didn't do that.
Does it happen with other entrepreneurs as well?
I'd be shocked if it did. I've never heard of anything like this.
Do you think the Indian system gets rigged against the entrepreneurs or the business owners who get too powerful after a point?
It's certainly riggable.
Because in your case, this is what happened, right?
In my case, all the facts are there for everyone to see.
Then, sir, what's the future? Like, what's going to happen now? What's happening? In your story, what you're telling is completely different than anything and everything that any Indian person out there who will do little research about you would find. It's completely different than what you're telling.
But if you do research on me, what are you going to find? You will only find the narrative generated over a period of time by the Indian legacy media and to a certain extent the government and what they have said. And of course, when I say government, it includes CBI and ED and this, that and the other. Right? That's all you'll find. All of which is false narrative, either deliberately written or, in some cases with the media, ignorantly written.
So is there a businessman, politician, media kind of nexus against you in India?
I don't know who is against me except this government. And I made no bones about it that I am their poster boy. I am also a political football, right? You must have heard the narrative. BJP tells Congress, "Tumne loan dilwaya." Congress responds to BJP, "Tumne bhagne diya." Vijay Mallya is the football in the middle.
What is the biggest challenge of doing business in India?
Government.
ओके, ये कहना चाहता है कांग्रेस और बीजेपी की लड़ाई के बीच में ये फंस गया, ये भागा ही नहीं, इसने कोई लोन नहीं लिया, भागना है, वापस नहीं आ पाया, पासपोर्ट सीज कर दिया वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. दैट्स ऑल. 14,100 कुछ 131 करोड़ इससे लिया गया है, मतलब रिकवर किया गया है इससे.